Again, my name is Joe DeYoung, MSA Professional Services, and as you can tell from this project, there is two parts. And the key behind this is more about funding and who's responsible for certain parts of the road. To go back a little bit, I want to show you what we did the last year, in 2009. Like it seems that Main Street's been under construction for quite a while. We did quite the project a year or two ago, going from Cronky all the way to Claremont. What I found interesting about this is that affected over 120 parcels. It affected numerous driveways, and like I said, is the main thoroughfare through Sun Prairie. But when we put it in the paper and showed what the construction limits were, the number one question I got back was, why did we stop? Why did we stop at that location? And actually, a nice lady from down here called me up and she just said, you know, you missed the worst part of the road. We weren't arguing. What we kind of described before, and what Daryl and also Dan mentioned, is that this is a two-part project. We have the DOT who's responsible for between the ramps, and they have certain requirements of how to design it and how to accommodate the traffic of 151, making sure that there's no backups and no concerns with the main thoroughfare road. With Main Street, ours was a little bit different. Our concerns are more driven at O'Keefe. Everyone here has been through the O'Keefe intersection probably. It's got Walmart to the south. It has major turning movements in different directions. Not only do we have the through movement in both directions, we also have a significant amount of left turn movements coming through here as well, trying to get to the Walmart and to the south down O'Keefe Avenue. One of the unique things about this is that we actually have a turning lane in order to get the Brooks tractor that is very uncommonly used. So to provide them the ability to get access to their business is unique to have this busy of an intersection, yet very little use going into here. So to provide timing for all this and stuff, kind of drove us to the fact that we had to stop the project last year at this point at Claremont just to give us the ability to design and work with the DOT to make sure that we can do the best job we can for O'Keefe. A couple of other things of concerns in this area. If you're not aware, I'm sure McCoy. McCoy Road has always been a concern. You can be sitting here and be backed up and you're basically waiting for a gap from a numerous amount of cars that are heading from the south, and then the cars that are either making a turn from Main Street, coming off the ramps this way, and then also the left-hand turns. There's not a lot of gaps. And the distance from here to that point, plus the driveway would start, is very limited. Our goal eventually, and again, we'll talk about this a little bit, would be to realign McCoy Road. It's not being planned at this time, but it is a goal of ours to try and get this and create more space and line up with Sunfield Street. Other concerns, we do have driveways still. We have a driveway into this large apartment complex, as well as a gas station, and the new eye doctor clinic and realtor office that's located here. Those driveways are still going to be accommodated as well, kind of using the same procedure that we use down the rest of Main Street. Other concerns, we are putting in signals in. There's been discussions about roundabouts. What we're proposing and what we've had approved now is signals. Looking at providing signals at Sunfield does not seem to help. We will probably be limiting our signals to O'Keefe just because of the spacing between Sunfield and Main Street. It creates not enough gaps and causes concerns with cars backing up into that intersection. What you see in front of you, and again, there's some displays in the back, so if you can't see it from back there, please come up and look at it later. But this is kind of what we have for the proposed layout currently for McCoy and the city's portion of the project, McCoy, O'Keefe, and Main Street. Looking at this, as you can see, we are still proposing a twiddle, which is a two-way left turn lane for cars to get off and allow only 2 lanes of cars to continue, kind of what you're used to seeing with the last Main Street project. Some of the other improvements you said, just like Dan said, we're increasing the queue distance. We're making more storage to provide more for it. Right here, you see these 2 lanes going off? Those are actually the 2 lanes for left turns heading onto the ramps. They go past both intersections. You know, again, we'll be able to look at it later, but it actually goes back almost to 200 to 300 feet away from the O'Keefe intersection. So that's one of the bigger improvements that you're going to see. What we also did is we're proposing to add 2 lanes going through into the direction of downtown. There is the potential that we might add a third lane later. We've reserved room. As you can see, this is a median here that lines up with this large terrace that's located on the south side of Main Street. We may need 3 lanes in the future. Not really for function or level of service, but the reason for the third lane would be to provide less time. We can put more cars in 3 lanes and get them through faster. And in order to get through them faster, it gives us more time for these left turn lanes that occur frequently to the south on O'Keefe. Other improvements, as I mentioned, McCoy Road. Right now, we're currently proposing a median from Main Street back through McCoy Road. And because we have to maintain McCoy Road at its current location, we're proposing a right in, right out. And that a semi can still make a turn through here with a large semi in order to provide service and get through McCoy Road from that movement. And that's what we're trying to focus on. Our goal eventually will be to maybe reline McCoy Road, as we mentioned, to Sunfield, but at this time, this is what we're currently looking at. Other improvements, we still have the 2 left turn lanes. We have kind of provided a tighter area. We don't have that slip lane anymore. There will be some more queue distance and the ability to stop here for right turn lanes on the Main Street, but that's significantly the major improvements that we're proposing. There is some other improvements. There's not a lot of sanitary, but there is some stormwater concerns within this area, and we're going to be addressing that. There's been some flooding here, as well as some of the Main Street areas that new storm sewer will be in place and routed through the project area as well. So with that, like I said, I think we covered everything. It is concrete. It's going to be maintained the same. There is a bike trail that's going to be maintained on the north side, as you're currently aware of. We also are planning for sidewalk that possibly could be on the south side as well. But again, that will not be connected up until maybe McCoy Road is realigned. But those are the things we're kind of working at, tying in right where we left off and continuing on through the project until we're past the intersection on the opposite side of Main Street.